but he maintains his unbeaten record, and it's a treble for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh.
See the Stars wins a fourth Guineas for Mick Kinane.
Good evening. Welcome back to our preview. We haven't been here in a few weeks, but I think you'll be seeing a lot more of us in the near future, I'd imagine. Just here to run through a couple of races at the Dante meeting this week at York. No better place to start really than the Clipper Logistics Stakes Group 2 over 6 furlongs with Art Power, your favourite, Oxted, your second favourite, both priced up at 7-2, joint favourite, and then Starman 9-2, Molafam 7-1, Nahar 17-2, and 10-1, bigger the rest. Who wants to go first?
I'm just finding the race. I'm prepared as ever.
I'll go then. This is tricky, isn't it? It's a bit of a minefield, as the betting suggests. Wouldn't be surprised if something bigger price, came and maybe won the race, or certainly went close. Surprised to see Brando back in, given he only ran the other day. I'm also surprised to see Summergan back in, but to be fair, why not run him? He's won at a bigger price that could surprise, given he's in the form of his life. I thought with the rain that might come, Art Power was probably the way I would have sided. He's only a 4-year-old, isn't he? Starts out this season. I thought he ran pretty respectable when he was upped in grade. He ran in grade 1s the last 3 races he had last season. Obviously, he was a handicap winner, wasn't he? And then went into the Group 3 and hacked up in Ireland, and then he came up against Batash at York, which, well, you can't fault him getting beat there. That was over 5. He was stepped up to 6 again, and ran well in Group 1 at Haydock, and then at Champions Day as well, in the big sprint there, when he was 4th again. So he was only beaten a length that day. He's got a good record fresh. He likes cutting the ground. That's the thing with him. He won't want it fast. I don't think it's going to be fast. I'd say it'd probably be good to soft, to be honest. It depends on how the rain's gone today. I don't actually know anybody that lives in York, so I don't know how the rain, whether it's materialised, but according to BBC, it should have done. So as long as we've not got a resident Michael Fish, or whatever his name was, on the old BBC website messing it up, then I thought he might just have the upper hand against Oxted, because Oxted, obviously, he needed his seasonal reappearance last time, didn't he? Well, I say seasonal, it was his British reappearance, wasn't it? He ran over in wherever it was the time before.
Rehad or Rayad?
Yeah, something weird, wasn't it? And he was obviously beaten by Summergan. It was disappointing because I just couldn't. He was that far clear on ratings. He shouldn't have been getting beat. Let's be honest. He really shouldn't. But he did. He still ran creditably, I guess. It just, it wasn't the greatest performance. But if they said he wasn't fit, then fair enough. He'll want to be fit here to take these, beat these. So, and I just thought the ground might not come up right for him. So. Be interesting to see how he goes. If he turns up at his best, he'll win. As his rating would suggest, he's probably £5 clear of the or something. Well, £3 clear apparently, because Brando is still rated 116, but we know that he's not even a 110 horse at the minute. So, but I thought I thought Art Power, given the ground, was probably the way to go, but I won't have a bet, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, I'm of similar opinion. I'll not be having a bet for sure. It's really, really tricky. But I am going to side with Oxted. He won the July Cup last year. Beating the short odds the last day, as you said there, by Summergan, but I really thought he needed to run. And sure, Summergan was on the go all winter, so he was definitely fresh. And well, not fresh, but he was fit and ready. Do you know what I mean? He'd have been far fitter than Oxted, I believe. Our Power is definitely worth a mention. He ran really, really credible last year, winning some nice races over in Ireland, then picking up some nice prizes in Britain as well. So, yeah, it's a really tricky race. I'm not going to be having a bet, but I will stick with Oxted and then Inform Ren Moore, who's absolutely hammering the winners in Ireland and Britain as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Oxted, but it's a very tentative vote, to be quite honest.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I think, if I'm not wrong, Brando, Art Power, Oxted, and Starman all running the champion sprint.
Yeah.
So it's all pretty close. The one I like out of those is actually the last Starman, who finished 14th, whereas I think the other three were in the top 5. He hated the soft ground. 3 runs before that, 3 wins. And he did I can't remember where it was. I think it might have been, let's see if I can find it here. Doncaster. He beat Kings Lynn, who obviously ran at Chester the other day just behind El Astronaut. Had the wide trip the whole way round, so you can probably upgrade that a little bit. To be honest, I saw a couple of people saying it had rained a bit today. The next 2 days don't look like much rain, and there's a bit of wind, so I think you're probably right. It'll be good to soft, and he'll be much better there because that ground at Ascot was soft, whereas when it's Ascot, you can basically upgrade that to soft heavy in places, can't you? I think he'll bounce back here. As Dan mentioned about Art Power, Starman's 4 as well, so still got that chance for plenty of improvement. From the rest of the fields, I think you can rule out a lot of them. Queen Jojo, I don't think it's good enough. Lady in France probably won't stay 6 furlongs. Brando was obviously poor the other day when I thought he had a penalty kick. Of the rest, there's not really that much that's appealing. Oxted, I think, like you say, on British reappearance, probably just needed that run to freshen him up a bit. But then again, he had a run, even if it was in Saudi, which must have been April, I think, that Saudi run.
February, I think.
Why did they run in there? Why did they go there? It was very.
It was February, yeah. And it was only a conditions race. It's not like they're taking him over to a big...
No, I just didn't. Yeah, I just couldn't understand why they ran him there.
They thought he could pick up a big prize.
Behind it.
Must have wanted a wee holiday out of the lockdown or something.
Yeah, it was just really weird because obviously Kieran Fallon went over as well to ride him, and it was just. All the big jockeys go over there, don't they? Because the money is just ridiculous.
Well,
yeah. But I'm guessing that is the reason they ran him, because the money is insane.
You can't imagine Roger Teal has many abroad runners.
No, they were paying over $500,000 for the winner, so I'm guessing that's the reason. It just didn't pan out, did it? He still finished 7th. Probably picked up about 10 grand for finishing 7th, to be honest.
I do wonder if he got the invite. Because he won the July Cup, didn't he? He might have got the invite based on that.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, Oxted and Starman, I think, are going to be the 2. I don't think Art Power's going to win. I say that about a lot of D'Souza's rides this week, to be honest. But yeah, I'd focus on those 2. Starman, I think, has got the more room for improvement. So I'll plug for him, 5-1.
Starman for George, Oxted for me. Art Power, Dan?
Yeah, we'll stick with Sylvester Delusa.
Well, if we don't get the winner between those 3.
George's new name for Sylvester this week is Sylvester Delusa.
Yeah. He near stole it off the front. When we were at Ascot on Saturday, he near stole one for him off the front, but until Holly, the famous Holly, come and picked him up.
Oh,
brought the money home for me.
What was that horse called? Just didn't stay, did it?
Don't know, but mine was called Luigi R. Lugani or something along those lines. Anyway, moving on to I think this is the race that George will have his eyes on this week anyway. The Musidora Stakes, Group 3 for fillies. Currently joint favourites, Noon Star and George's
joint favourites.
Anticipated ante-post slip.
Ridiculous.
Anticipated ante-post slip, Teona.
I was just looking at... Sorry, go ahead, finish it.
No, we have Mystery Star or Mystery Angel at 13-2, and I'm gonna be bold and say the rest aren't worth mentioning. It's 11-1. The rest. This revolves around the top 2.
It's horrible, isn't it? I was just looking at the Race and Post. They do their sort of tips thing. I'm not sure who they come in from.
12 for Noon Star and 2 for
12. Any of those people, do they know anyone in Newmarket? This horse is the absolute talk of the town. Obviously, she's been backed in from 25s to 5-1 for the Oaks in a time that she hasn't even had a run.
Do you know what? Do you know what I hope for you? I hope the talk of the town wasn't the same. The Newmarket wasn't the same as Ballydoyle last year when they thought Arizona and Machida couldn't keep up with the drone, whichever one it was, and then they absolutely flopped. I hope it's not as concrete as the talk of town of that there.
You know, I don't live too far from Newmarket, and I've been around the town enough times to know that a lot of shit is talked. But this is massive. This is a huge move, and I think she opened 5-2 or 9-4 for this race, instantly into even money. Right, she's out to 6-4 now, but I can't have Noon Star. Come on. And Mystery Angel. If Mystery Angel wins, then I'll go and. I was going to say something rude about George Bowie there, but he's having a good season. I'll go and kiss his feet, as Dan would like to say. Snowfall, no. Senator, no. I think Aurea, Andrew Balding's horse, might run pretty well here. She was second behind Charlie Appleby's filly, Creative Flair at Ascot, wasn't she, I think?
Yeah, she was.
She's obviously had the benefit of a run, which might help past a few of them. 16s. If all 8 of them show up, that might be a good each-way price. But it's all about Teona, isn't it? 25s into 5s for the Oaks. I got on at 14s. Should have been on it a lot higher than that. But
you joined the hype train, did you?
Oh yeah, I joined the hype train when I was having a look at the Oaks market.
Born on the hype train, mate. Born on the hype train.
Well, no, this is all from my godfather. This one, so he's been all over Teona at a lot bigger prices than what I have. And I joined in at 14s. Even money, 6-4, first start in a Group 3. It's hard, isn't it, to back?
Well, you'll be hoping she wins.
And wins well.
Yeah,
she's going to win the Oaks. She'll win this.
Yeah, I think you can. Like I was saying to Ben earlier, if you've got more money than sense, you could probably smash into the top 2. You'll make a little bit. I can't see anything else winning this. If anything else wins this other than those 2, I'll happily give you both a £5 free bet for next week because it's just not happening. But don't back her. Don't back her at 6-4. Don't back Noon Star at 13-8. Watch the race. See Teona win by 10. And you've already missed.
So what you mean is back Teona for the Oaks then, if you want to back.
I was
5-1.
You've got to have some sort of bet, haven't you?
No, 5-1's too short.
Even money for the Oaks, let alone even money for this.
If she wins by 2 or 3 lengths, if she wins by 2 or 3 lengths tomorrow, she'll be 7-4, 2-1 for the Oaks. You know the bookies love an overreaction.
If she wins by 10. You'd be sitting on a bloody even odds-on shot, mate.
Yeah, might be starting to lay a little bit off if she's odds on.
We were standing at Ascot on Saturday, and I was going to have a bet until it come up on the screen that she was 5-1 after the flipping trial at Linkfield. I was like, it was 10s the night before, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll have a nibble at this now because George's talking about it. And I was like, they looked at the screen now 5-1 just because how shite flipping the Oaks race at Linkfield was on Saturday. They cut her in price.
No, Dan's a gunner.
We've come into technical difficulties.
I have no idea how that happened.
You didn't close your Skype to have a bet on Teona for the Oaks, did you?
That's it. I'm on big. But I was just going to say, I think you've got to be careful that Aidan O'Brien horse.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, she looks. She is all made for a 1.5 miles. My days, if I've ever seen a horse run in the Guineas for a trial, that was it. Because Christ, you looked at her run, you thought, get her up to 1.5 miles, mate. Then you'll be seeing the real Santa Barbara. I think she's pretty good. So you want to be, you'll be wanting Teona to be pretty good. You know, obviously the vibes are.
Santa Barbara's definitely the right favourite.
I mean, she might be the value bet come tomorrow, given that this Teona might go and flying into favouritism. So, but I agree. I think she'll win. I think the form. I obviously don't know anything about this Newmarket whiff that's going about, but I've got a strong smell of it now, clearly, but she was pretty impressive. I thought when she was. I mean, how good must C Empress be then? If you've got the Oaks in here, because
C Empress is entered on Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Well, apparently
and that's a listed
the
rate.
Empress hadn't come along as quick as they would have liked to, which is why they've not gone here.
Right.
So
she's running at a mile, isn't she?
Yeah, I can't see her going forward and running in an Oaks.
No, I don't think. No, I looked at her and I thought she was short for the Oaks. But she won't even go because she's not even. She's running over a mile.
Not even from that perspective though. I think if Teona wins here, she could be a good bet on Friday.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously,
just for that race alone, not looking at a future prospect like.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Short, though,
yeah, I mean, I don't know whether
she's 10-3 at the minute.
Yeah,
Snow Lantern's in there at 5-4, the Hannon horse.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'd bet her on Friday because you don't know whether she's going to be forward enough. But the fact that she beat that Teona fairly readily, you'd say, they were miles clear of the third, would obviously bode very well for what they could have on the hands. But yeah, I thought Teona would win. I thought the form, obviously, like I say, with that CM Press was pretty solid on debut. Then she absolutely hacked up at Newcastle, didn't she? The only thing is she's not ran on turf in terms of in a race. So I don't see that being a problem coming from the yard she's come from at all, to be fair. But that is one thing you could say. I guess she hasn't actually had a run on turf yet. They've both been at Newcastle, which, as we know, is quite an acquired surface.
You wouldn't want it being too soft with the first one on turf. So
no, you definitely wouldn't. Noon Star looks pretty. I mean, she'll give her a best. That's for sure. I think if Teona doesn't turn out to be the horse she is, then Noon Star probably. I don't know whether that's her official rating. It's showing up a marker 98 here. I mean, surprising because for me, I would have been going down the handicap route. She was a marker 98, but they clearly think she's far better than that. So fair play. Yeah, she'll give her a race. She'll have to be probably rated. What would you say? 110 to beat this Noon Star. That's probably where she's going to be, isn't she? In a couple of more runs. So she'll probably have to be a 110 rated horse at least. So yeah, we'll see. That means she's going to have to jump up, £20 on what she's shown so far. So it's a fair jump. I can see why she's not an even money shot. I mean, even money's ridiculous, really. But yeah, I think she'll probably win, and especially if the vibes you've said are what they are. Mystery Angel obviously beat the love of my life at the minute, Sea Carrots, But yeah, I was disappointed with that, but just got a freebie on the front, really. So I don't think she's good enough.
Well, the word in the street is Sea Carrots is pretty average. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So that's not what they hope. I think what the word was. That's not what they hoped it would be, but.
No, I mean, she didn't handle the track. We know that, but hopefully, yeah. I mean, if you say that, then I'm guessing she's maybe.
We'll see what happens next time out. Because I backed her last day too. I thought she was a smashing bet, but I got my fingers burned too.
Yeah, she might be one to throw in the bin pretty soon, and the rest are not good enough. So
no.
As long as what they think.
I'm not going to take a bet, but I'm going to take a chance on Noon Star. I just thought, I don't like backing horses. I think he's no even. I don't like backing horses who run for their first time out. So Noon Star is definitely going to be fit. Won that race last day, comfortably carrying a penalty, and she'll definitely be fit. We don't know that about Teona. Teona is a big unknown, but if the word in the street is what happens on the track tomorrow, there's no doubt that she wins. But I'm just happy to.
She's got the form in the book, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's a form in the book against no form. It's fitness against not proven fitness. There's a lot of reasons why you'd probably have Noon Star favourite. There's a lot of reasons why you'd have. I
can't believe that's your screensaver.
A lot of reasons why you'd have Noon Star favourite. I wouldn't be surprised if she went off favourite, to be honest. Noon Star, just given that she has them two factors in her favour. One Whether she'll win is another thing, but you know, punters like a bit of reassurance, don't they? And Noonstar has that reassurance. You know, sort of out of the two, she's the most assured to put up a performance in the mid 100s to late 100s. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Teona, we've only seen her run to a mark of 90, so you know, mid 90s. So we don't know yet, but yeah, we'll see tomorrow. So it'll be very interesting that one.
It's not a betting race, but if I've got a selection, I'll go with Noonstar, and I'm assuming you two go with Teona.
Yeah, I'll stick with the hype train. Come on, George.
Oh yeah, she wins. Yeah.
Moving on to Thursday, we have the Albasti Eckworld Dubai Middleton Filly Stakes over 1 mile and 2.5 furlongs. We have Queen Power favourite 15-8, Passion 5-2, Silence Please 4-1, and bigger the rest. I'm going to start off by saying, if Queen Power doesn't win this race, I don't know. The last time I know she doesn't really like winning, but I don't think she gets a better opportunity than she does here. To be fair, at the Guineas meeting, she actually ran quite well, I thought, and she's now defeated. She's now back up in trip. This is the best filly in the field, and she should be coming out on top. Is just what I've wrote in my notes. Passion, I don't know. Aidan O'Brien just likes to run it as, like, you know, an extra horse in some of these bigger races that we go on throughout the season. Silence Please, don't like Shane Foley, so we'll be moving on from that there. And yeah, none of the rest will be winning this, I don't think. You know, it's one of them horses where it just finds hard to win, but if she doesn't beat these lot, I don't know what then. Do you know what I mean? Like, if she doesn't beat this lot, she genuinely doesn't like winning. Like, that's just the bottom line. You'd
have to be concerned that in the last 7 she hasn't won. I think she was favourite, and quite a short favourite in 4 of those. So I'm not sure 15-8 I'd want him to be taken. Passion, I agree with you. She's probably only come over here because she had a spare box when they didn't declare Van Gogh for the Dante.
Yeah.
And this race is terrible.
It's a small old race, isn't it? 6 horses. The only horse that I think is going to win is the one that Ben doesn't like, and that's Silence Please. Shane Foley's obviously coming over for the ride. I quite like it.
He'd probably leave it 15 lengths off the league and get bit by a length. A bit another hard luck story.
I quite like him. Obviously, this horse was second behind. What was it?
Tiger Moth.
Tiger Moth, yeah, that's the one. It was quite an unlucky second in the Melbourne Cup. Drop back in trip's going to be fine. Whether it's the ideal trip, you just don't know. The thing that I do like about this filly is that she's won both times on seasonal debut. So obviously on debut and then the season after. And she's 4-1. It's a good bit of value. I couldn't have Passion, so you take that out of the market and you're getting 4-1 on a horse to beat Queen Power, who doesn't like winning. I think it's a pretty good bet. Rest I couldn't have. I don't think.
Yeah.
The other 3 will be good enough.
I think you could be on something there. I think you're on about, obviously, one on seasonal debut last year, Silence Please. Actually beat 2 seconds. Actually, sorry about that. Beat Passion, didn't it? On Passion's return.
Where was that at? Dundalk? That's where Passion.
No, at Navan.
Passion was 4th, yeah.
Yeah, behind that Silence Please when Passion returned, didn't she? She was rated £7 higher than her then as well. So I'm not so sure whether Passion goes very well fresh. And as you've said, Silence Please does. So with £7 there, which is £8 between them here, you know, there was a good few lengths between them that day. So I'm not saying they couldn't do that again. Queen Power, I think you're right, Ben, to be honest, should win this. But whether she will is another thing.
It's just F spots and maybes, isn't it?
With this Passion is that she's so annoying because she needs soft ground, right? And then she runs well on okay ground, and you think, right, maybe she just, you know, maybe okay ground's all right for her. Then she runs well at a mile and a half. A mile and two, flies home. Then they step up to a mile and a half. She doesn't finish out a race. You're like, what are we going to do with this horse? You know, they must be pulling the hair out at Ballydoyle with this horse because she's got ability. It's just bizarre. It's really weird how she just puts in a good race, then a mediocre race, and a crap race, and a good race. Very up and down. If the rain was to come heavy and the ground was to turn, she'd be the one. But yeah, I think Silence Please on this, if it stays good ground, like you're saying, with the wind and everything, then I think Silence Please could probably do the lot of them here. And, you know, 4-1, I know a rating doesn't say, you know, that she should have a chance, but I think the form behind Tiger Moth, like you've just said, you know, she was beaten 4 lengths, but the form worked out okay, pretty well, really, given Tiger Moth's running over in Australia. So, yeah, you know, his Silence Please is probably better than 103. So, yeah, I'd probably say, why not give her a chance? So
Silence Please for both of you, and I'm just going to go Lone Ranger. I'm going to go for Queen Power. Moving on to, I don't know, it's one of the better races. Well, and the name of it is
very, very interesting. This one,
the Dante.
Yeah,
you have High Definition 9-4, Gear Up 8-9-2, Royal Champion 5-1, Hurricane Lane 6-1, Alan Queers 8-1, yeah, Meg Allen 8-9-1, Flying Visit 12-1, and Bigger the Rest. Well, yeah, Bigger the Rest. I can't back High Definition, can you, lads?
Yeah. If
last week they're saying his bloods aren't right. I'm just thinking I'm a bit skeptical about all this.
Whether that's the thing, the whole, you know, the vibes thing is not great. Look, you'd hope he'd be okay coming over here, wouldn't you? I mean, you've got to go by what you saw last season. This horse is going to get another, you know, another season on it. He's had another winter on his back. You know, he's basically he stepped up what we saw last season in terms of when he ran on soft. You know, he just the way they would. I mean, how he won his maiden was impressive, very impressive. Then he went into this Group 2. He was last, you know, and you remember. I remember watching it, thinking
he wasn't in the picture.
This has got no chance. Like, this was heavily punted, really, and you know, went off short, very short for what it had done, just purely because of, you know, the performance that it showed to get up on the line on its maiden and go away by near enough a length. And he did it again in a Group 2. And it was just like, it was unreal. You know, the ground wasn't anywhere near as soft as it was that the first day at the Curragh when he ran. And, you know, come on, this is a machine, man. If this thing can do this, if he can take that ability and, you know, step up in trip as well, because you knew, even seeing him running over the mile, that the step up in trip is 100% going to benefit him. It won't be the trip that gets beat.
No, he ticks all the boxes. There's not a doubt. But the only reason I can't back it is because he wasn't folded.
I won't back him. I won't bet him. I won't be betting. I don't like betting at this sort of meeting. You know, it's not my sort of thing, because a lot of them are. You know, these are a lot of prep races, aren't they, for things later on?
He's definitely good, and I think he's a good one. But just from this race here, only I can't be backing him.
I think he could win the Derby. I don't know why that Bolshoi Ballet is 7-4, because I don't think he's a 7-4 shot. I know, and the thing is, what we saw obviously the other day was very good. But you know, they disappointed him behind. It wasn't strong race, was it? That Max Swinney was really the only one that should have been giving him a hell of a race. He ran terrible. So he's either not trained on, or he just wasn't even fit for the race or something. You know, he was very impressive with his turn of foot, but we haven't seen this lad step up for a mile yet. What we saw last season, they won't see which way he goes if he can take that sort of ability and put it into a step up in trip. the one thing that I will say is I haven't heard Ryan Moore talk about high definition. I heard him talk about, funnily enough, Bolshoi Ballet, whatever it's called, this morning at the races. It was from last night, and he looked, he couldn't help but smile when he was on about that lad. So you'll be liking that, George, because Ryan Moore smiles about 3 times a year.
Yeah,
he was smiling when he was talking about that horse. So he clearly thinks he's very good. We'll have to see what this lad can do. If he can beat Gear Up, who is definitely going to be a Group 1 campaigner in these races this season, if he can beat him,
already a Group 1 winner.
Yeah, and he'll be a Group 1 horse, this season in these races. If he can beat him, you could have a challenge on your hand, because just look at the turn of foot last year in that Group 2. That is a huge step up for a horse. Unbelievable step up. And the Ballydall bet it. They knew how good he was. If he can take that ability, he could be absolutely anything, this horse. And it's very exciting to see him back. The one that could surprise is Alan Kerr. I wouldn't write him off. On this, he's officially 3rd best in at the ratings by far as well. And he's fit. He obviously improved for the step up in trip, and he could improve again for stepping up further. It was only a Group 3 that he won the last day, but there was nothing wrong with that. The performance he put in definitely meant he was a 110 horse. He'll be around. I wouldn't write him off either. Really wouldn't. I think he's overpriced at 6-1. I thought he should have been a lot closer to where Gear Up's price is, around the 4-1 mark. So I wouldn't count him out either. But if High Definition can put in what we've seen last season, then he could be a rocket, mate.
You love him. That's it.
I think from what I've seen last season, how can you not love him?
No, I have to say, I am a fan.
They stood still. They were stood still. The others, they may as well have been. They weren't. It's a mile race. They can't be slowing down. The race wasn't even strongly run. This is a horse that was touted for the Derby. He was winning over a mile in a Group 2 on his 2nd start, coming from last to bloody 1st. On the outside, unbelievable performance that was in that Group 2 last year. Absolutely. I'm not surprised he's rated 115 at all. That's bang on, because he could have beat them. If that would have been a 1.2 miles last season, he would have probably won by about 15 lengths, because he was pulling away from him again at the mile pole. He'd have had another 2.5 furlongs to pull even further away from him. Unbelievable.
George, see when you're naming this video, do call it the High Definition Teona show, please.
Well, hopefully
anyway,
not on the High Definition side.
I'll keep mine short and sweet. I actually think there's one of the price here that's going to go quite well. Flying Visit for Bulger and Manning. They're in great form, as we all know. They won the Guineas Poetic Flare about 10 days ago. It was 2.5 lengths behind Bolshoi Ballet a few weeks back at Leopardstown. Definitely entitled to come on for the run. They don't really send many horses over the water unless they've got a right good chance. And yeah, Manning's coming over for the ride. Definitely think in this field, a lot of unknowns. There's just one that and I really enjoyed that step up and trip the last time as well. And I think this is an extra furlong perhaps. And yeah, should get that too. I think perhaps the one's a bit overpriced. So yeah, Flying Visit's the one for me here. George?
He's hoping High Definition doesn't win anyway. We know that's what he's definitely hoping.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's
one outcome.
I think High Definition's a good price for this race. You're getting a bit of value, aren't you? Obviously, because of the unknown. The one thing that would worry me about him is that Aidan's got enough horses for the Derby where he's probably saying to ride here, if you feel something's off, just stop. He doesn't need to go and sort of force this horse to win the race, which sounds a bit silly because obviously he's still got to beat the others. But I do worry that if he's not 100%, they'll ease him here. And I mean, if he's not 100% here, he definitely won't be going to the Derby, which sounds a bit horrible, but obviously I don't want him to show up there. 10-1 about Bolshoi Ballet, a little bit bigger about Van Gogh, who's probably going to France anyway. A rather high definition, didn't show up, but he was class in the Bereford, wasn't he? So, there's definitely no denying. The one thing that would worry you going forward is that I don't think Aidan's had any horse that's running the Dante that's then gone on to win the Derby. Obviously, it's a week extra break between the two this year, so maybe that'll help. But even if he wins this, well, look, if he wins this easily, he goes. What does he go for the Derby? 5 to 6 or something. This form to win this by a couple of lengths would be better than the Bolshoi Ballet form at the weekend, I think. So it'd have to be shorter. Gear Up. The Group 1 he won in France was awful ground, I think. But he's definitely earned the right to be here.
Oh, it's awful racing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
French is terrible.
Hurricane Lane rallied pretty well at Newbury. Last time out, I think he got past there and then came back and won by a length or so. He'll obviously have to improve quite a bit. But there is one horse that I like in here. Don't laugh at me. That's got to improve a little bit more. So if High Definition runs to the same rating that he got in the Beresford at 115, this horse would have to improve £27 to beat him. So obviously I'm talking about Roman Empire, Aidan O'Brien's other horse that he sent over here. Oh, I love a
that
big
one had the empty box, mate.
Well, obviously Holly Doyle's picked up a ride for him, which is pretty rare. But if you're having a jockey that you don't usually use, you having Holly Doyle, aren't you? So I think it's a pretty good booking. He looked like he was deadly in need of the run on seasonal debut when he was fourth. And I think even in the Race and Post notes that once his chance was gone, he basically just looked after him all the way to the line. Similar on his actual debut last season, he looked like he needed the run, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Obviously, he's only won a maiden, so he's going to have to improve a lot. But there's a lot of horses in here that I wouldn't want. I wouldn't be taking Uncle Bryn. McGallen running the Fox Hunters, didn't he? Royal Champion, I just can't have. Gear Up, maybe better on soft. If the real High Definition shows up, he's winning this by an absolute mile. If he doesn't, Roman Empire 40 to 1 each way. If you can get 4 places somewhere, have a little each way. Because I think he could improve a lot more than some of them. But you can't oppose High Definition, really, can you? Aidan checked. I think they said yesterday that they were going to check his bloods again this morning, and if he was 100%, then they would enter him.
He's gone. So
and he's going. So you would just be concerned with the Derby in mind that they would run him in the Derrinstown, but maybe they just thought it'd be a bit of a sort of wary traveller, so they'd bring him over here beforehand. I could go on for hours about this race. I think High Definition will win if he's 100%. If not, Roman Empire 40 to 1 with the absolute queen of flat racing, Holly Doyle, on board. You couldn't get a better jockey to ride, I don't think.
First time I seen her ride in the flesh on Saturday, and she's fucking class. That's it.
She's just
such a good jockey.
She's one of those jockeys, especially like Rachel Blackmore. Obviously, she had that controversial punt the other day, but it's when you're backing a horse and you think, why the hell have I gone against that jockey? Holly Doyle adds pounds and pounds and pounds. She's just
absolutely incredible.
So yeah, I'm putting up Roman Empire though. I don't want to be boring. 40 to 1 each way. Get 4.
I'm not asking Dan who he's putting up, because whoever watches this video will know where his opinion lies. High Definition for Dan and Flying Visit for me. We move on to our last race of the preview. It's where my nap of the week falls. It's the Yorkshire Cup Group 2 over 1 mile and 5 furlongs. Headed by the absolute king, Sir Ron Priestley, at 7 to 4. Santiago, Hype, 5 to 2. Nea Road, 10 to 3. To be fair, Nea Road always actually runs a race, to be fair to him. Believe in Love, 11 to 2. I can't pronounce that. Yes, we're going to leave it there because so Brian's horse, 15 to 2, and figure the rest. I'm going to start off by telling you that Sir Ron Priestley wins this race. Actually, we were meant to do a video 2 weeks ago when he won at Newmarket, and he was my nap of the weekend at 15-8, and he absolutely bolted up. I had a serious bet on him that day too, so I was quite happy for my pocket. So he's going to get me some more points. He's going to get me some more points in the nap table this weekend. So he is, because he's going to win this race.
I forgot
he's
we've got to give that. Oh god. He's
returned. Yeah, he used to be the 40-1 shot. He won't like.
Yeah.
He's returned in really, really, really good form since he came back from that setback he had a year or two ago. I have one worry and one worry only. This is going to be his third race in about 6 weeks. 6 weeks since he came back. As long as he hasn't had too much racing in a short space of time after having the layoff, if that doesn't affect him, he wins this year. But Frank Norton's going to take this from the front. They'll not get past him. Not a chance. He actually beat Ocean Wind at Nottingham on his reappearance, and Ocean Wind ran a really good race behind Stradivarius at Ascot there. If you expect, so the form in the book's good. Yeah, like he's a really, really good price here, 7-4. My nap of the week. Anyway, who's next?
Yeah, I don't mind taking you on.
As per usual.
yeah. So Ron Priestley, obviously, I mean, the race post is telling me he was 12-1 for this race at some point, which I just can't believe. But obviously 7-4 is a lot shorter. They
were telling me the other day it was 7-2, and I was clicking the button that quick to try and get on when I found out it was actually 7-4. So
he was class.
Left really disappointed.
In the Jockey Club when he beat Pile Driver, which I think is quite good form, to be honest with you. 1-5 of his last 6. I think the same thing with you, that you might be concerned that he's over racing, but Mark Johnson.
If he's in good form, they have to take their chance.
Mark Johnson just gets more and more out of these horses, doesn't he? Obviously, he runs them a lot. Sometimes they do hit that brick wall, so you might be worried about that. Santiago was just like Holly's horse that I was talking about in the last race. He was looked after at Navan when his chance was gone a couple of weeks ago. Obviously,
he was very well looked after, wasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he was a bit disappointed in the Ledger. I just backed him for that. I thought it was a good bet for that, and he was a little bit disappointing.
He's not quick enough, is he?
No, I think he's going to have to. Well, he's definitely going to have to improve on that to get anywhere near Sir Ron Priestley. Nayef Road's obviously an absolute place merchant, so just back him to come second or third. I don't think he's got the class to win it, though. Obviously, Franny Norton's on Sir Ron Priestley, so that's what they think of Nayef Road. The horse that I do like is O'Brien's horse. Amran.
No, number 3.
Oh, bloody hell.
Number 3. No, yeah, we're calling number 3.
Here we go. Here's the Dundalk merchant coming out. Dundalk.
Oh, obviously. Well, before that, he's third in the Derby, which obviously was run not like a normal Derby, but he was still third. Came out at Dundalk and won by 13 lengths. Eased. Like, I know that he was 1-4, and I know he was better than those horses, but to win by 13 lengths at Dundalk and the nature of the track, it's pretty hard to do.
No, that's what I was going to say to you. To be fair, I will give you some credit. Horses don't win by 13, 14 lengths at Dundalk. He's down. They don't do it. Like,
you've seen better Aidan O'Brien horses win by 4 or 5 lengths around Dundalk. I think he's going to be a top class stayer this season. I might be mental. But I think he's 17-2. I'd much rather be taking that than 7-4 about Ron Priestley. That is it. I've got no other opinion on that race. Stupidly, maybe, I think 8.5-1 is a class bet. But I'll leave that to Dan to tell me otherwise.
Well, it's quite unbelievable, really, because the name that popped up for me was Amran Fan or whatever it is. So, funnily enough, I agree.
We might actually have in the next few weeks. In the next few weeks, we hope to have some young Irish jockeys on this channel. So we might have to get them ones to actually tell us the name.
Yeah, it's definitely Irish, isn't it?
It's Irish for sure.
No one's jocked up on him yet.
Obviously, it's Friday, but no. It's because he was actually entered tonight. So
he's not running.
Yeah, at Killarney, which surprised me because that race is a lot harder than the race he ran in last. Obviously, the maiden. And then this race is a hell of a lot harder than the race he was going in at Killarney. So maybe he's working pretty well at home. But yeah, I mean, look, he's third in the Derby. It's a standout piece of form from last season, isn't it? He was beaten in a bloody maiden the next time out, rate 110, which is like unheard of. But his standout piece of form was when he was.
He
The thing is
was
with him
that
is,
day though, wasn't he? Last time I think when he was
yeah,
beaten.
and the thing is with this horse is, I'd be worried about Sir Ron Priestley because of this horse. He will lead. He'll have to lead. There's no way he'll run his race if he doesn't lead. He'll probably be 5 lengths clear at halfway. That's just the way he races. He's clearly a bit of a nutter, but when it goes right, he can just, he could just be one of them that just gets away. We know what it's like with these bloody O'Brien second strings. I'm surprised that he's got 2 in this. Now, I think O'Brien's going to win it. I think he'll win it with one of the 2. And the only reason I'm taking this Amran, whatever it's called, B-Fan, is because he's obviously a far bigger price than Santiago. 2, I think Santiago's slow. And 3, because he could just slip the field. The thing is, Sir Ron Priestley is he usually leads and he usually sets his own gallop. The last day he made his own gallop, I thought he was a pretty good test actually, because obviously Pile Driver we knew Sir Ron Priestley stayed very well. The time before that it was a married man's gallop at Nottingham when he beat Ocean Wind, which didn't suit Ocean Wind. He can make it either way. He can make it a test or he can make it slow. He's probably going to try and make it slow because it's 1.6 miles now, against, better horses than what he faced the last day in Pile Driver, which it was only 1.5 miles. I just didn't like the fact that he is going to get taken on for the lead. I mean, I say get taken on. This guy's going to get the lead. He's not going to be able to lead, is he? Because they're going to let this guy go. They're going to have to. Interesting to see if he goes for a start. Obviously, he's not chopped up, but he could set this up for Santiago, couldn't he? He could set a real gallop here. So Ron Precious at second. Naif Road won't be far off. Santiago's going to be out the back. He's going to be sitting off the pace, as he normally does, and come through. He could win this, Santiago. I really wouldn't be surprised because it could just set up into a bit of a pace burn up and then he just comes and collects. But I'll take my chance on Amran, B-Fan or whatever I don't know how you say it, Fian or whatever it's called. So just purely because a far bigger price than Santiago, and I want back Santiago at 11-4 against Sir Ron Priestley at 2-1. No chance. But the whole way the race is going to pan out, I think O'Brien could have it sewn up, to be fair. So
it's that one for you two. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name again. And Sir Ron Priestley for me. number 3 for you two, and Sir Ron Priestley.
Would it worry you with the gallop though? 7-4, because like I say, Sir Ron Priestley makes the running. That's how he runs, and I just think that if he can't make the running, it'll be a lot harder for him. You know what I mean?
You've got to give them all the extra £3.
Yeah, and you've got to give. Sorry, I didn't even see that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah, you've got to give £3, but it's more I think he could give these £3 if he could lead every day of the week. He could give these £3 if he could just make his own gallop. And I think if it went perfectly, because the last twice it's gone perfectly. Ocean Wind, it was perfect. Pile Drive, it was perfect. Nobody touched him. He just increased the tempo and went clear. He just got away from him, didn't he? He's not going to be able to do that here because this thing's a nut job. Won't get the lead. So he'll be praying, Mark Johnson, that this boy doesn't come over, because if he does, his lead's gone. So interesting. Very, very interesting to see how this race pans out. So, but yeah, I'd probably take the chance on that big Dosser name that O'Brien has.
Well, I believe that's it for, that was a preview of our 5 group races here at York this week. Hope everyone has a good week's betting. I think we'll finish off with our naps, and then we'll just add in the fact that hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have Gavin Ryan, young apprentice jockey. I don't know, he could be still an apprentice. and Andrew Slattery, and hopefully Cam Hardy. So yeah, some interesting content coming up. Hopefully, we'll just finish with our naps. Yeah, Sir Ron Priestley for me. George?
Go to Dan. Sorry.
I'll have high definition the Dante on Thursday because I think he could be a machine. So I'm going to take the chance that his bloods have that everything's fine with him, and I think he could be a hell of a horse.
I'll just quickly a couple of bits of business before I round up with mine. Alex Jarry fan club, just an update for you guys. 13th. So on Thursday he's riding Paracama at Salisbury, currently joint favourites.
Jarry.
There were two other horses I just wanted to mention. In the 5:30 at Newmarket on Thursday, Ammo Racing have got another horse out called Three Dons. They're winning every 2-year-old race at the minute, and I think their main motto is this: if we give you a horse, make it win on debut. So look out for that.
Do you know, I was actually really pissed off with myself when we were at Ascot on Saturday when that Go Bears goal was 28-1. Had a bit of a non-runner. It was gambled into 6-1, and I'm standing there thinking to George, like, should I back this? Ended up didn't backing it, and it absolutely coasted up. George, continue on.
When we were stood in the stand as well, all those Ammo Racing knobheads cheering next to us because they're just had sorry, Ammo, you're not knobheads. Just annoyed me a bit. One more horse, Southern Voyage, running on Friday in the novice at Newmarket, was second in a pretty good maiden at Newmarket the other week behind Peter Great.
Excuse me.
So I think Southern Voyage will run a good race. I think it's actually it's been a day. Archie Watson's horse. What am I doing? Nap. Silence, please, on Thursday.
Yeah, good shout.
Quarter one.
Did you just mention Alex's one runner?
Well, I haven't got the other one on race post yet. I think he's got one on Friday, but it's not there.
He's got one on Friday. Alex, in case anyone wants to tune in, it's the last race at Newmarket, the 4:20. Alex is on. Let's get it up. Well, it's actually not officially booked in yet, but Alex has informed us he's on May Song for Ed Dunlop.
Hey.
Right, let's quickly recap because I went on for too long. So my nap, Silence Please, on Thursday, 2:10.
Mine, high definition in the Dante, which is at, I don't know the time, probably 3:40. 3:10, sorry, on Thursday.
Yeah.
Dante, high definition.
3:10, Yorkshire Cup, Friday, Sir Ron Priestley. Get your wheelbarrows out. Absolute ticket.
Lovely. I'll have to go back and add the nap table up because I can't remember. Or we can
Is that the one I'm leading in?
Well, maybe we just start again.
Oh yeah, we also forgot to add the racing club we're part of. We had a winner. Get a reason. One of our fences at her.
Titanium Racing Club, yeah.
Yeah. Up the Titanium Racing Club and the Alex Jarry fan club. Yeah, we'll leave it there.
That's it.
We'll be back soon. If you're going to have a bet this weekend, gamble responsibly. I'm not sure if we'll be back before the weekend, so Palace Pier wins the Lockinage and the Queen Anne. If you just want to get on the double or something like that, there. Queen Anne Royal Ascot, that is, by the way. So
any other big predictions?
Yeah, the bloody thing that didn't run in the Guineas.
Snow Lantern.
No. Basilica.
St. Mark's Basilica.
The bloody tool. The absolute Newmarket tool.
French Guineas.
The 2,000 Guineas winner that didn't run in the bloody 2,000 Guineas should win the French Guineas. I
tell you what, if it runs like the ones that he did send over, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't get how he didn't go, but okay. But yeah, I think he'll win the French are shocking. So I mean, if he's getting beat by them, then he is useless.
Yeah.
So I think he'll win that. That's my big prediction.
Oh. Well, I just can't wait to see Palace Pier. George, any bold predictions for this weekend?
I've got an even bolder prediction. Mishriff's going to win the Juddmonte International at York in August. Everybody get on. Everybody email your bookies and say, get this price up, because Sky Bet are the only one that will price it.
If we're going down that route, Brando wins the bloody champion sprint in Ascot in October, eh? So I've been saying. You know, when he racks up a 3-figure price at 100-1, and Brando comes from out the back and nabs him on the line this year.
Yeah, and love wins the arc.
Yeah.
Do you know what else is going on here too? Newbury Saturday, Logician or whatever. Logician's actually back. He's racing against Al-Alsi or Al-Alsi or
Yeah.
Alsi. That'll be a
Norwich
good
City
race.
top 10 finish in the Premier League next season.
There we go.
Bowlers go back down to League One.
Wait there. I might have a horse for us at Ledger. Wait there. This is my last prediction. There could be a horse I might have for us at Ledger. Where's it at? Here. No, it's not. Wait there. I've lost it. I had it here and now I've lost it. It's an O'Brien horse. It's no. I had it last night, but I actually thought the race might have been here. I'm gonna get it, and then we're gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you as well winner. It was 16-1 too.
Just while you're looking for it, let's just list off the other races that Mishriff's going to win this season. Royal Ascot, I forget the name of the race, he'll win there. And then he'll go to the Corridor Clips and win that. And then he'll go to the Judmont, because the owners really want to win that, and he'll win that. He'll be odds on, but I'll have my 3-1 the Sky Bet. Where's he going to go after that? Probably to the what do we call it? The Arc de Triomphe, and he'll get beat by Love, and then they'll retire him instead.
Right, I'm getting a bit pissed off. I can't find
Well, there you go then. Well,
yeah, no bookies will price me the treble, double, or the single. So I'm a bit.
Is that how faded they are? Have you?
I think they've got to be. They've got to be. I've never been.
Can someone find me this at Ledger Market? I'm freaking. I'm actually cracking up here.
I can have a quick look.
My odds checker won't show me any further. Oh wait, there, found it. Wordsworth.
Did you just pick one of his many horses?
No, I had a look at it last night.
Fair enough. Wordsworth doesn't Ledger. Right, are we done? We've been jabbering on for bloody ages.
Yeah.
Right. Good luck
why
all.
Not?
And, when Teona wins,
we'll be back next week.
Don't blame me.
We'll be back next week whenever the Irish Guineas is on. So yeah, gamble responsibly, and we'll see you then. Sure.